What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Today I'll be showing you how the smithy works in Monster Hunter World. So first off, the smithy is located on the second floor of your starting area. You can see down there is the gathering hall. If you come in here, you have the lady on the left here. Now, she is essentially who you are going to want to speak with right at the beginning of the game. She gives you the ability to purchase weapons and armors without the requirement of materials. So this is actually really good because you don't want to really be wasting your materials at the beginning of the game when you can just purchase them for money. The armor she sells is not the greatest, but it does upgrade over time. However, the weapons she sells are exactly the same that you can make at the smithy at the beginning of the game. So over here is where you'll be spending most of your time in the workshop. This guy here, he gives you everything you need. So you can see here, Forge Equipment is the first option, and if you come in here, this is essentially where you'll be making all your weapons and your armor. Now, these will require materials. However, at the beginning of the game, for the first 5 HR, you're not going to want to really purchase these because you can spend the extra 100 Z and just make them across the way with the lady without having to waste materials. Now, as you progress further on in the story and kill more monsters, you obviously get the ability to make the weapons outright instead of needing to upgrade towards them. However, the armor section is where you will want to definitely invest in. So you can see here, all the different sets of monster armor are available to you, and each of these sets of armor give you separate abilities. Each piece of armor is different to the set. You can actually see here on the bone set, the entomologist is for the leggings, the skirt is for Horn Maestro, the arms are for slugger, chest is for attack boost, and the helm is for health boost. So wearing corresponding armor pieces doesn't give you any boost. So if you were to craft all the bone armor, you would get a single skill from each set. However, see how the chest has attack boost? If you find another set of armor with a attack boost, you actually gain an increase to attack boost further. Now, if you actually hit the touchpad and go into skill info, you can actually see what each level gives you in terms of attack. So level 2 you get plus 6 attack, level 3 you get plus 9 attack, and so on and so forth, and it gradually increases. So you're going to want to look for armor pieces that give you that extra boost. Now, if you're interested in seeing what your character looks like with the armor on, you can actually press square over it as well, and it will give you the chance to preview the armor set. So if you're not happy with the way it looks before you buy it, you can actually decide against it or for it. However, like I said, each one does give you separate skills, and it is definitely worth investing in multiple sets of armor that give you a bunch of different skills. So I obviously wouldn't build the same set out of Barroth because you're only getting a small amount of skills from the maximum that you can get. For example, if you were to get Stamina Thief, you can see there the chest gives you Stamina Thief. You're then going to want to find a different set of armor that gives you Stamina Thief as well, so that it becomes upgraded. Now, this skill is very useful for hammer users, so obviously the hammer users is going to have and try to get to level 3 as soon as possible with as many different sets of armor as possible. Now, another unique thing that you can do with the armor is that you can add it to your wish list. So essentially what this does is when you're out in the field fighting a monster and you gain the part you need, you are then notified by the game saying that you have obtained the part and that you no longer need to search for it. For example, if I were out fighting a Barroth, cut its tail off, harvested it and got the tail, it would then notify me that I have received the tail and I wouldn't need to bother trying to kill the Barroth again to get its tail part. Now, in the upgrade equipment section, this is where you can upgrade your weapons and your armor. Weapons will change the way they look and increase their attack bonus. You can see here each weapon has a line between it. This essentially means it's a path for the weapon to continue down. So the more you upgrade it, the more lines you'll unlock. You can see here the Iron Katana 3 will then branch out into 2 paths. One going to question mark, the other going to question mark. I know, how exciting. So essentially once you get the required materials, the weapon will then pop up for you and you'll be able to actually see its stats. You can see here, we're able to see the stats for the Iron Katana 3 because we have access to all 3 materials. The same said for the Iron Katana 2 and so forth. You can see first dance we contain all the materials for that. We are then able to see it. Each tree provides you with a different set of stats and elements. You can see the Kulu Yaku tree provides you with affinity and attack, but if you were to upgrade it again through the Kulu Yaku tree, it would then increase in damage. If you were to branch it to a different path, the one underneath it, which I'm assuming is the Raytheon, you can see there that it gives you the little poison notification just under in the corner of the weapon, notifying you that the weapon element is poison. Same can be said for the weapons down here, where you can see it's fire, water, thunder. So each weapon has a different element. Some have none whatsoever, but it's all up to you to decide which kind of weapon and element you want to go for. In terms of upgrading armor, you will need armor spheres. You can gain these from doing expeditions and the bounty hunts. These grant you a lot of armor spheres, so I definitely recommend getting them. However, each armor piece has a certain amount of upgrades that you can actually upgrade it with. So you can see here on our helmet it says upgrades remaining 5. You can then upgrade it by increasing the amount of armor spheres you want to put into it. However, as you get to higher tier armor, you will then need Armor Spheres Plus, which you can also obtain from the bounty hunts. However, these in turn actually upgrade the defense of your armor. You can see that we're able to get up to 16 defense and a level 6, which is the maximum upgrade reached for this armor set. It does cost money, but it is well worth upgrading your defense for better armor capabilities. In the Forge Palico equipment, you can actually make the gear for your Palico depending on what kind of gear you want, and it's exactly the same as your weapon crafting section. You see what weapons it is, you see the required materials, and you see its melee and ranged value on the right side of the screen. So it's definitely worth investing in armor for your Palico as well, as these guys are very useful and they will provide you with a lot of backup in ways that you would not expect they could. So you can preview it on your cat much like you can with your sets of armor. You can make him a little pharaoh dude, sultan, sorry, and you can see you can make him whatever you want. So it all depends, and it is different in terms of the armor sets for you. They don't gain separate armor values. You can use these same sets of armor and they won't be penalized for it, and they don't gain skills like you do with your armor sets. Now in the customized bowgun section, this gives you the ability to equip custom mods onto your bowgun. Now you have a certain amount of mods. You can see here recoil suppressor, reload assist, deviation suppressor, close range up, range attack up, and a shield. Now each of these affect the bowgun in different ways, cosmetically and in terms of use. The recoil suppressor reduces the amount of recoil from certain ammo types, so such as your heavy bombs. It will actually reduce the recoil when you fire those. Reload assist increases the speed of reloading. Deviation suppressor essentially stops the bullet from deviating from its path that you want it on. Close range up, the closer you are, the more damage you'll do with your shots. Ranged attack up, the further range you are, the more damage you'll do. And the shield adds a shield to your bowgun. Now, at rarity 1 to 2, you can only equip one of these mods. However, as your rarity of your bowgun increases, you'll be able to equip more of the mods. So from rarity 1 to 2, you can only equip one mod. Rarity 3 to 4, you can equip 2. And rarity 5 to 6, you can equip 3. So it's worth investing in a higher rarity bowgun for the mods. So for insect glaive users, the managed kinsects is the section for you. You can nurture your kinsect that you have, or you can purchase a new kinsect. The base kinsects, the Caldrome or the Muldrome. Now the difference between these is that one is sever, one is blunt, and the dust effect is different. You can see here the Caldrome is poison, whereas the Muldrome is healing. Now you can nurture the kinsects, which essentially allows you to level it up and increase its damage that it does, as well as its power, speed, and healing, which in turn increases the amount of time you're able to hold on to the essence that the insect gathers from monsters. And you can see here there is a whole heap, and all you require really to obtain them is ores and bones. That is the main gist of how you upgrade your insects. Now you can also add elements to these guys. Which allow you to add fire, water, thunder, dragon to them, which requires more materials, obviously. But that's pretty much all there is for the smithy. So let me know if you guys enjoyed the video. That'll be it for today. Let me know if you've got any more questions. But other than that, thanks very much for watching, guys, and stay tuned for more Monster Hunter videos.